just laid that out just right there.
You're on to me.
Does weed make you horny? Same here.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
Oh, wow. All right, then. Compose myself down.
It's been fun.
I like me some stickers.
I hope we get to work together like this again.
Me too.
I told them, I was like, we need to have a regular podcast. Instead of
that
podcast,
would be
a podcast. And maybe like we're at a different dispensary each weekend,
Okay, I'm
each
down.
week.
I am down for
We can
that.
sell a remote at every dispensary,
Now that I lost my other job, I think it would be awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Thomas is definitely afraid of bitches.
No, you. Is he really?
He's afraid of them.
That's dope. Weed makes people do weird things.
Oh yeah. Thomas is done.
Oh, I would pay to do that to my sister. I would. I'm evil.
Alright. Oh, you getting ready?
Uno, dos. Do otro taco. Do you guys want tickets? Anybody want tickets?
Hey, if anybody wants tickets to a concert, let us know. We've got some concert tickets
See?
over here.
Thank you. I got scared to do it. I'll do it here, but I just can't do it over there.
Don't be scarred.
I can't help it.
Yeah, it's fine to reach a point in your life where you have no shame anymore. So, you don't care.
You know what, dude? That's what I feel like when I'm naked. Only because these have been worked on over constantly. Like so many doctors are seeing me on.
Yeah, you just know. Yeah.
Do you think?
No, I hear you. I know how it is.
What's wrong with you?
Well, I have my spine fused.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Are we good? All right, folks, we
hi.
are back. We are back here live at Greenleaf. It is 4/20. It's April 20th, 5 days after tax day.
Yes, pero también es el Día Universal de la Marihuana.
Yeah, if you need something to relieve that tax stress,
This is the
place to come down. We've got some amazing deals going on today.
I know. I want some of these deals, man. Especially this one right here. The entrapment, like a full ounce for 80.
Ounce.
Like I heard that's.
No joke, back in the day.
Yeah, explain this to me. Yes.
200, 350, 350 for an ounce. Yeah, back in the day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that blows my
Are
mind.
you like being serious right now?
I'm being. I have absolutely paid well over $300 for an ounce.
And this is what you call a spoiled stoner, man. I wouldn't know that. That's awesome.
Well, that's the beauty of having it on every street corner. Is the prices have come down.
We're here for
it's
it.
good for us, bad for some of the dispensaries, but it's great for us, and that's great for them here at Greenleaf. They have got some amazing deals, and stuff is flying out the door. I hope they have some stuff left for us.
I know. I am so wanting something.
I'm ready to go shopping. So, we've been talking about some of the health benefits that come along, or with marijuana use and how it helps with some various things. And Jeff, who's running the show, he's making it so you guys can see and hear us. But he has some personal experience, and nothing is quite like a testimonial. Talking to somebody who's really been there. So, Jeff, go ahead, tell us about your experience.
I got my medical card about 6-7 years ago, and when I went to the doctor to get it, we were discussing my PTSD, and he's took a while to go through everything, and he said, okay, your PTSD is worse than most soldiers I've dealt with that have come back from Iraq and Afghanistan. How have you been dealing with this for a decade? And I said, alcohol and sleeping pills. And he responded.
Scary combination right there.
He responded with, are you afraid to put a gun to your head because you know you shouldn't be alive? You know God performed a miracle, and that's the only reason you're here? I said, well, I wouldn't do that. He said, you're doing the exact same thing. The only difference between alcohol and pills and a gun is instant. The alcohol and pills is the same thing. You just don't know exactly when you're going to die.
Just a roulette right there.
So I got my card, and I went to a dispensary, and I picked up some flour. And I did not know that there were multiple types, because back in my former life, literally, in college, you didn't know.
You took whatever was given to you.
Yeah.
This is all I got. There was no like, oh, we got 49 different strains, and you want an indica, sativa. No, this
It
is the
hits you
stuff.
how it hits you.
Yeah, this is the stuff. This is how much it is. That's it.
Yeah. Which goes back to, what they always said when we were kids is marijuana is the gateway drug.
Right.
It is-
Gateway to fun.
It's, it's not the only reason it ever could have been considered a gateway drug is because the places you had to go to buy it
You know
sold
what?
everything
That's right.
else.
Yeah.
And
That makes sense.
if they didn't have what you were looking for, I'm sorry, but when you were young, someone can sell anything to you quite easily.
Yeah.
And
I can see that.
now in my Mulligan life, after now I've got a card and it's legal recreational. Now I know exactly what I'm getting. I've had bud tenders help me choose which and show me what type of indica and indica dominant hybrid will help my PTSD and the seizures which are caused by PTSD. The first time when I got it, and I just got the flower, I went home and I smoked and began freaking out. Thankfully, my roommate at the time was in med school doing her clinicals up here. She came home, saw me, and asked what was wrong. I told her, and she held me by the shoulders and said, "Jeff, you got the wrong kind of marijuana." And that's when I was like, there's different types?
That's cool.
What? And then she explained everything, and I haven't had that problem since, because sativa, I learned, makes PTSD go into overdrive.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is good for some things. So just
Yeah.
understand, there's some people. It affects everybody different. So we're not saying sativa's bad or indica's good.
Right.
Everybody needs to find what works for you.
Yeah, and the best way to find that out is talking to your doctor or a bud tender.
Yeah.
They can help and tell you the exact terpenes that are going to help you sleep, help with different body pains in
Right.
different areas. And so now I'm able to sleep, which for over a decade after I came out of the coma, it was very difficult to sleep an entire night because certain memories would pop up and wake me up.
Yeah.
Now, either indica gummy or smoking, do that before I go to bed, and I wake up in the morning having slept an entire night.
Without a hangover.
Yeah, without a hangover or
So
any
here's
ill
my
feeling.
question to you. Like, honestly, my sister also had a giant mast cell tumor. I forget what they're called. But because of the type of tumor that she's had, the surgeries that she's had, all this nonsense, anytime that she smokes anything heavy THC type of thing, she will get like seizures out of like kind of nowhere.
And that's another reason why you need to talk to your doctor about it. I have another friend, wonderful friend, but she is allergic to THC.
That
I've
is
heard that
crazy.
before, yeah.
And it put her in the
That's-
hospital,
Yeah.
and she ended up having her appendix removed
Wow.
in just the damage that it was causing of not knowing it was THC. It wasn't until it had progressed, and then she found out.
Yeah.
And so, of course, now she doesn't smoke.
So let me ask you something. So I had a back injury a long time ago, and I went through that whole process at the time of, you start taking some lightweight painkillers,
Yeah.
and then those stop working, so they bump you up to some heavier weight painkillers, and then those stop working, so they bump you up and bump you up. And I literally
Had
reached
that.
the point, and you all have heard of this because it's out on the streets now, but this is 20 years ago, I was on fentanyl patches.
Yeah.
I was actually on fentanyl, which is like the big thing nowadays. And but I hated it, and I hated being on those, and I mean, I was like, I need to get off all this crap. And
Yeah.
so I literally was like, at the time, It's like, I'm just going to start smoking weed. I got rid of
Yeah.
all the narcotic stuff. I don't, like, if I go to the doctor now for something, even when I had my neck fused a couple of years ago,
Ow.
and they're like, what painkillers do you want? And I'm like, I'll just do some aspirin and weed.
Yeah.
I'll do some weed when I get home, you know?
Right.
And it's worked great for me. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
And I come from a family where drugs tasted good to a lot of people in my family.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't really feel that bad about smoking some weed because I don't bother anybody. I go home at night, sit around, smoke, go to bed, you know.
You're not
Right.
triggered while you're on something.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I'm taking drugs. Again, I feel
Yeah.
to me it's almost like somebody who has a cup of hot tea to go to bed, or somebody who has
Yes.
a glass of warm milk. It's my glass of warm milk. I get a little buzzed and watch some TV, and then I put my little tincture in, and it's bedtime. You know?
Right.
And so much better than the old days where you're like taking pills and you're feeling
Yeah.
like you're just all day. You feel like your head's a big marshmallow. You know.
Yeah, and I will have both hips and one knee replaced.
Ow.
And over a decade ago, I was shooting a movie in Rio so in the winter, and I'd get cortisone and steroid shots into my kneecaps so that you're running up and down
Just so you
mountains
can
carrying
function.
cameras.
I'm
And
exactly
when
what you're talking
and a doctor prescribed Oxy, I took it, and then I took the pill bottle and put it in the little box at the police station because I did not ever want to take that again.
Yeah.
And and then later, when I ran into a friend who had back surgery, and he was taking Oxy, and he got hooked. And eventually, the doctors would stop prescribing them. So he turned into the Oxy that's not legal, heroin,
Oh yeah.
and he destroyed his entire life.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
And now he is clean and sober and doing so much better. But it was that painkiller. Whereas, THC, it helps with the pain, but it's kind of like going back to when you were talking about alcohol. I've never smoked and woken up with someone I shouldn't have.
Right.
Or done many of the stupid things
Or not
I
know
did.
where you were.
Yeah,
Right.
with
I mean, the night that
alcohol
I
or
was-
this or
Oh,
that.
yeah.
The night that the person attempted to murder me,
Uh-huh.
if I wouldn't have been drinking alcohol, I would not have been in that situation where she could have done that.
Yeah. Well, and I've never woken up in the morning and gone and looked at my wallet and said, "How did I spend $200?"
Ouch.
You know, like you go to a bar and before you, it's real easy to like, hey, let me get around for everybody, and
Yeah.
before you know it, you're spending a bunch of money, and man, $10 worth of weed, you're good for the night. you
Right.
know? I mean,
That's
a good
true,
night.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's so much healthier.
yeah, and I'll another personal. Sorry to interrupt you,
No,
but
you're
another
good.
personal experience. Since I smoked weed, there've been times like I had COVID a couple times, or like I had the flu here a while back, and I don't smoke or anything during that, and I don't go through withdrawal. I'm
Right.
not getting all like antsy because I haven't had. But when I was taking, when I would take the OxyContins or things like that, I was due an hour ago. You start,
Yeah.
you really build up a
Wow.
well, you're craving for them. They start tasting really good, and that's one of the reasons I knew I needed to get away from
Right.
that. And I mean, seriously, weed. I was sick. I just stopped smoking 4 or 5 days, no problems. Didn't have any.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas if you're on painkillers or things like that, you could go through some serious withdrawal
Oh,
just from
yeah, you
stopping for a
can.
few days.
And even then, if you still are in actual pain and you need something to get you through, if you are sick, with the flu, with it, you can't smoke. That's what the gummies help with a lot too.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until so many surgeries later. But to me, it's so different, like you said, the pain pills versus over here, because with the pain pills, I would function kind of like in a sleepy mode, but I would get so angry, like so agitated so easily.
Right.
And I would snap at my kids, as opposed to now I feel this. I have surgeries so often still.
Right.
And I'll smoke and I'm like going from here to there. I'm like doing the dishes. I'm doing the, cooking. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I'm functioning. I'm
Right.
not, sometimes I do want to sit back and relax and just enjoy it.
There's a time for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a different effect where I feel okay. I'm not, hurting so much.
Right.
So it definitely does help in even the mentality of how you react to things. it to me, it makes me a better parent because I'm a little bit more calm. You know, oh, you spilled something. You know, stuff happens.
Right.
You know, it makes me more patient, more understanding. Whereas the pills would get me like just agitated, man.
Well, hey, let's use the cliche word. It makes you mellow, man. It makes you just,
Yeah.
you just mellow. You're just like, hey, okay, S happens.
Yeah.
We'll deal with it.
Exactly.
The quite
Tomorrow's
opposite
another
of
day.
when you're drunk.
Yeah. When
There
you're
are
Yeah.
a lot of things that people can and do say that when you're inebriated, that can start a fight.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you're under the influence of THC, it's more of the, you're an idiot. But there's not a jump up and punch you in the face. It's
Yeah.
Usually for me, it's like, you're an idiot. So let's talk about aliens for a minute.
You know what? That's like my favorite
And then
topic.
10 seconds later, it's like, what were we talking about?
And it's completely different now. That just kind of keeps
Squirrel,
going. I
exactly.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those type of moments and conversations are just kind of priceless.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your information, your story with us,
Yeah.
and I hope people out there realize, once again, there's such a stigma,
Right.
especially with people. I'll be 50 this year, but people who are my age and older who grew up with that whole. It was you ended up buying a bag of pencil shavings for $20 behind the playground, because you don't know or it's catnip or something.
Yeah.
Those days
Or
are
they ain't got
gone.
no
And-
baby.
And like the stoners who are hanging out in the back of the mall by the dumpsters. It's not that, man. Your neighbors are coming through here. Your friends are coming. Probably some of your family members are coming through here, and they're going home and they're enjoying things responsibly. Not out
Yes.
driving around high or anything like that, but they're enjoying responsibly. And man, it's what'd you say? 3,000 years.
That's right.
3,000
Yes.
years humans have turned to marijuana for pain relief, and it really
There's
is.
so many like benefits to it, and it's not just like the smoking and intake, the bombs, just anything that you can get from it. It's been out there for so long for a reason.
Right. And
Well,
it's a natural product.
Do you know what made it so illegal and so dangerous in
A ver.
America?
Well, I was doing my research here. I know that the movie Reefer Madness was hugely responsible for it.
That one was a trip.
It was done by a church group who created the movie Reefer Madness, but now it's the stupidest movie if you've ever seen it before. Definitely watch it while high.
Do you know who funded it?
I thought it was a church group, but
William Randolph Hearst.
William Randolph Hearst.
And
Okay.
the reason why is because of his lumber company. And it wasn't so much of the marijuana side as the hemp. Because hemp could replace...
So many uses. Oh
Yeah.
my
for
god.
making paper, and he then turned it to point out the
That's just
THC
messed
side
up,
of it,
man.
and giving it this, you've got to get rid of it. And he used a lot of racial slurs of this is this group and that group,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you don't want
hate is
your
gonna
kids to
make-
be that.
Right.
And so they demonized it, and he funded a lot of the anti-marijuana
William
propaganda.
Randolph Hearst, if you don't know, owned every newspaper and every television, radio,
Yeah.
every newspaper and every radio station in the country. So he made the news.
Yeah.
He decided what people thought.
Yeah.
So back, all he has to do is start telling, hey, this is bad, and everybody's going to listen because that's all they're going to get.
That sucks.
And back then it was him. It wasn't a department in the Washington, D.C. that was telling the media what they can say.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
now
he
they
ran-
can see where it's leading, so they're gonna want a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But
That's just conspiracy. This is what you go into, man. This is the kind of conversations. That
Yeah,
leads
this is,
into.
and I'm stone cold sober right now, just for the record.
of course I am.
Don't ask me that in about an hour, but
Yeah, we'll be good.
No, so there's some fascinating conversations that can be had. Especially moving to Roswell, I never talked much about aliens until I got
Sure
here. But,
enough.
I've had some amazing conversations about aliens since I moved down.
I mean, you gotta start believing now, man.
I have to tell you, I really, I moved here a skeptic. Well, this is a podcast for another day. I moved down here a skeptic, and now I'm a firm believer.
Down
stuff
with
that's
it.
going on in Washington with David Grush and Revelations, and then a couple days ago, see, we're really going off the rails here. Really go squirrel. A couple days ago, there's a new propulsion system that was created, which I
Dun,
believe was
dun,
reverse
dun.
engineered from
Yeah, I
capsule.
know.
And interesting. things are
Shady,
happening.
yeah.
We'll do a
That's-
podcast about this some other time, but
all over the world or mainly Northern Hemisphere and Africa, but every culture and country I've been to, the two most common questions are either about the TV show Friends, which thank God they didn't. Seinfeld wasn't on reruns all over the world, because explaining that to people, yeah. But the other thing, when they found out where I was from, of course, was aliens.
Oh, Roswell.
And I'm like, okay, I'm in a village in Ethiopia. How do you know about Roswell and the aliens?
Yeah.
It's
it really
all
is
out
amazing.
there, man.
After moving here, you don't realize how embedded in the lexicon of American society. I mean, I guess it probably started with X-Files. That's when I read about the history. Of course, a lot of people knew about the supposed alien crash, but when the X-Files came out and did it, that's when it kind of really put it on
rolled out there.
Everybody's name. Okay, well, again, we're getting off the rails here. So let's get back to, we are at Greenleaf. They are going to be open for about another hour. We're getting ready to head out here, so last call for hot dogs. But come on down, enjoy some of these specials that they have here.
Stickers.
That's right. Make sure you come by, and I guess we have some tickets. Well, too late now. You missed out on the tickets. But it's been great fun having you here, having you guys join us. I'm Chris. This is Claudia. That's Jeff. Outside, we have Thomas and Jamie are cooking up a storm for everybody. And it's been great. And I'd also like to thank David. I'd like to thank Renee, who came up here with us. We've had a great time here, and hopefully we get to come back, and I'm going to go do some shopping.
Let's go do it and have some fun.
Been a lot of fun. Claudia, thank you.
Gracias mucho
This is my first time doing something like this, so thank you guys for putting up with me, and Jeff, thank you for your help.
You did really well.
Well, I appreciate that. So anyway,
we're winners.
We are winners. All right. Well, once again, thank you guys. Y'all have a great weekend,
Buenas noches.
Don't forget they're open. I mean, 20% in the morning? Is that right?
Sí.
Yeah. So if you can't get down here
cada
today,
mañana.
there you go. Yeah, if you can't get down here today, get online and order and still get 20% off. So once again, I'm Chris signing off.
Hasta luego. Buenas noches.